What about free range? What about humanely slaughtered animals? Do plants have feelings? Isn't it extreme to be vegan? What about vegetarian? Is that enough? There's nothing wrong with drinking milk and eating eggs, is there? So many good questions. You know, what if we didn't kill and eat animals? Wouldn't they kill and eat us? Some questions are not as good. But there's a lot of good questions because, I mean, this is a whole new way of thinking. What, we love animals and we're against animal cruelty, so don't eat them? Yeah, exactly. Because killing and eating them don't align with loving and being against cruelty to them. So, but it's a simple concept, but it's something that we never thought of in our life. I never had for 26 years. So once you start thinking about it, then come the questions, and there's a long list of them. So that's a good thing though, because there's an answer to every single one. Violence against the innocent, against the vulnerable, is never justified, and that's what we're trying to justify when we're looking for excuses not to be vegan. We're trying to justify unnecessary animal abuse. There is none, so let's get through a few of the questions, a few of the objections, because the less objections you have, the more sense it makes to go vegan and stay vegan. So question 1, what about free-range animals? If you eat free-range animals, you're still paying for the exploitation and the killing of an innocent living being who did not want to die. It doesn't matter about free-range or grass-fed or organic, you know? At the end of the day, we're still exploiting animals and killing animals. But, I mean, not really but just so you know, free range often means next to nothing for these animals anyway. They take them out of a small cage, they put them in one massive cage, a big shed where there's 20,000 chickens all right up against each other, and that causes all different kinds of cruelty and suffering for them. Sometimes it's not necessarily better in a free range facility than a cage facility. So it's a word, it's a phrase I use, free range. Yeah, like it's good, it's free range. Don't think about it, don't worry about it. You know, they put that picture on there where there's a happy animal. It's used by industry, it's a phrase used by industry to make consumers like you and I feel better about our choices to consume animals. For the animals it means next to nothing. So no, it's not good. It may be, possibly, less bad, but we shouldn't be looking for the right way to do the wrong thing. There's no right way to do the wrong thing. What about humanely slaughtered? This is kind of the same thing. Humane means to show compassion. How can you compassionately kill someone who wants to live? Imagine if this was a human, you know, humane murder. It makes no sense at all. If you said to a judge, oh, I humanely killed them, they didn't feel a thing, I did it in their sleep, they didn't even see it coming, the judge would say, you still murdered them. You robbed them of their life, you took them of their greatest gifts, and that is harm of itself, one of the worst harms that there is that you can do to someone else. So don't be telling me it's humane. That is another word used to make us feel better about our choices. It is never humane to kill someone who wants to live. It is the opposite of humane. It is one of the most cruel and callous acts, so like the utmost disrespect for this individual's life. There's nothing humane about it. So don't let that word, that convenient word that's been slapped on the labels of a tortured animal's body part, don't let that label fool you. What about milk? What about eggs? Animals don't need to be killed for that, right? That's what I thought. It took me a while to get my head around this, but it's actually really simple. Animals are killed for eggs and dairy. Animals are exploited in so many ways, and there's actually at least as much cruelty in a glass of milk, for example, than in a piece of steak. In the dairy and egg industry, animals are treated horrifically. In the dairy industry, for example, for a cow to give milk, she has to be forcibly impregnated, and she'll have a 9-month pregnancy. Once she's had her pregnancy and given birth, her babies are separated from her, which is a traumatic experience for the mother and her babies. After that, the baby boys, because they're not going to produce milk, they're sent to the slaughterhouse, and they have a bolt shot through their brain through their skull into their brain, and then they get their throats slit. And they call that humane. To do that to babies, that's humane slaughter. And the baby girls have the same fate as their mother. They're forcibly impregnated. They're hooked up to painful milking machines that cause all kind of different infections, and their babies are taken from them. And that's what they go through over and over, 4 to 6 years, until they are also slaughtered at a fraction of their natural life, because they can no longer keep working like that. So yes, and same in the egg industry. Animals are exploited. The little baby chicks are sent into a machine called a macerator. The little baby boys, it's like a blender, because they don't produce eggs, and then they're all killed when their egg production starts to slow down. However we use animals, it's not right. There's no right way to do it. Eggs, dairy, at least as cruel as meat. Leather, wool, silk, used in entertainment, used for product testing, used in products. It's all wrong. It's all bad. None of it's necessary. Which brings me to my next question. Is it good enough to be vegetarian? No, for those reasons I just mentioned. Vegetarians don't consume flesh, which is a good thing, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily opposed to using animals for other food products like eggs or dairy, or clothing, or entertainment, or products or testing. So if you agree that causing unnecessary harm to animals is wrong, then the least we should do is be vegan. Being vegan isn't this extreme thing. It just means you stop causing unnecessary harm to animals. Since when did that become extreme? That's the chillest thing ever. That's all it means, and being vegetarian just means you don't eat meat. But you're still contributing to horrific, unnecessary violence against animals, innocent animals who do not deserve it or want to be going through that. So no, vegetarianism is part of the problem. Although, let me just say, if you're using that as a stepping stone to get towards vegan, cool, please hurry, because lives depend on it. Veganism is the goal, but please don't get stuck at vegetarianism for long at all, because so many people do that. Because they're told by people, oh, you're a vegetarian, that's really, really good, and people will think, yeah, it's good. But actually, it's not good for those animals who are still victims of a vegetarian's choices. And let's finish on the question every vegan loves is, what about plants? Do plants have feelings too? It's actually a good question if you've never really thought about it before, because who knows? I'd never thought about it before either. And when someone asked me, I was like, seriously? I mean, I don't think most people are asking about the feelings of plants because they actually care about plants. I've never seen someone mowing the lawn and being like, I can't believe I'm doing this, because they're so upset because they're chopping so many blades of grass. I've never ever seen that in my life. I don't think anyone has ever probably done that in their life. Maybe a Buddhist or something. I don't know. But I don't think that people actually care. And even if they did care, I mean, there's no need to care about plant feelings, because plants don't feel pain. They don't have a brain. They don't feel pain. There's no one home. They're not sentient beings. They don't care if you kill them. They don't have the capacity to care. So don't worry about it. But even if you are plants' rights activists, well, the path to least amount of harm towards plants as well is to be vegan, because we waste so much plants fattening up animals for a very small amount of food back. We give them 6 to 12 times more food than we get in return. So we're wasting so many plants. There's so many plant casualties by not becoming vegan, by not being a vegan. There's a lot of other questions about what, when you go vegan, and things just come up, and the good thing is there's an answer to each and every one of them. So a good site to go to is Animal Rights FAQ. If you type that into Google, it's the first site there. There's 100 questions, there's 100 good answers. And the best part is, when you run out of answers, the only logical thing to do is become vegan, and then stay vegan, and then help others do the same, because it's better for us, it's better for the animals, it's better for the environment, and it is the least we can do.